Nightmares occur. Teams advance out into the bracket stage, or they are eliminated and sent home early. And this is one such elimination match. We've got Team Greg, the number 1 top seed in their group, taking on Team Washington, who are the bottom seed in Group D, excuse me. Started off the tournament with an 0-1 record, losing 5-2 against Draft Dodgers last week. Meanwhile, Greg 2-0, victorious 5-1 against both Call Der Boss and Draft Dodgers. So, what this means for us now: Greg, with a victory, advance out of the group, guaranteed the number 1 seed. Draft Dodgers would thus emerge from the group as the number 2 seed. If Washington were to win this match, however, they would be 1-1, Greg would be 2-1, Draft Dodgers would be 2-1, and it would all come down to the final match in the group, Washington versus Call Der Boss. Washington could win that. Then we would get into some tiebreaker scenarios with all 3 of those teams at a 2-1 record. So this is Washington's time. This is their opportunity to stay alive, to try and make it through the group, to at least give themselves a shot at getting out of group stage against a Team Greg looking to just go 3-1 easily through the groups, onward into the bracket as the top seed. And what is going on here? I apparently just can't change the volume in my client. Like, did anybody else seeing that? What? It's just muting itself? Anybody else seeing this? What? Okay. Hold please. We're back. Just restart the client, I guess. I don't know that I have no clue what is causing this at all. We'll be right back up, hopefully. See what happens here when we restart real quick. All right, well, it's fixed, so it's fine. Looks like our first pick is going to be Green Mod number 3, Ed, and Eddie. So we will real quick here check on our teams. Team Greg, top seed, number 8 seed, Psycho K1, Coach, minus Vesperit, Sari, Kirochi, Sawada, and Marcus. Taking on American team Washington. All from the state of Washington, of course. This time it's actually the state of Washington out on the Pacific Coast. Rhetoric, ZNFD, Fudu, Conrad Mitten, Azumin, WarpsCon, Kenpai, and RME Fan. One of those low seeds trying to make a splash as best they can. And we're getting into Ed and Eddie, a lot of mods. This one's so fast I won't even be able to talk about it. It's just going to be a matter of, can you all FC this pick? And the answer typically is mostly. Kirochi and Conrad Mitten are going to trade a couple breaks, the lead holding on to Greg's side for the moment. Looks like just a little bit of accuracy and a combo lead, but Kirochi finds another break. Is it going to be enough to send it over to Washington at the last second? It may just do that. It's going to flicker back and forth, but it is going to be Washington by 21,000 points, taking the first map. You gotta love a good old-fashioned Garfield-style coin flip, ladies and gentlemen. You just gotta. And that is 1-0 to Team Washington on their first pick. Oh, buddy. That is a map right there. It is. Washington are on the board. 1-0 lead. You kind of just can't miss, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know, like, if you look at the score, it's so bizarre that they won that, but Conrad Mitten outdid Kirochi by 90,000 points, and I guess that's really all it came down to at the end of the day. Right, so Greg now will have their own first pick, and maybe we'll, you know, make things a little more serious here. And I guess by serious, I mean client lag serious. Let's go. Double time number 3. An interesting sort of pick here for sure. Finger control, kind of speedy. Not the fastest by any means, but, you know, it requires a little bit of speed at least. Conrad Mitten saying, help, half my team is asleep. I mean, I guess it is 10 a.m. there, so moderately early. There's only so late I can schedule these matches, you guys. I'm sorry. You know, going into tournaments, you're UTC -8. Like, that's just how it's gonna be. It's just how it's gonna be, you guys. I'm sorry. If you are from the west coast of the United States, like, you know what you're getting into playing tournaments. Ow, wow, sorry. Bonk my head on my mic here real quick. So, into Poison, we're going to go DT number 3. It's kind of speedy, kind of figure control heavy. So we Psycho OK1, Sorry, minus Vesprit, taking on Conrad Mitten, Verderix, Fudu, and Kenpai. And we'll kind of get to see what happens in this map a little bit, maybe. For the most part, however, it's just going to be, you know, slideshow moments because the tournament client! Everybody, may I present to you the Osu tournament client. Now with 50% more DT lag. Side effects may include erectile dysfunction. It's just fucking doomed. Somebody please clip this and let me send this to Peppy. This is not okay. This should not be happening. It is the year of our Lord, 2021. Our Lord Jesus Christ did not die on the cross for me to have to deal with this fucking shit-ass garbage tournament client lagging every DT map I play so badly you can't even tell what's happening. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I think Greg is winning. It seems that Greg is winning. I guess. Looks like we had a break from Kenpai, and that's just gonna be Greg winning. But we do still have the ending where things get a lot more difficult. Wait, this is the best I've ever seen it look in this portion of this map. That's so funny. Oh, Psycho and Sargi both find breaks as well as minus. Kenpai finds a break for Washington, but the other 3, Conrad Mitten and Verderix still holding on a combo. Fudu breaks as well, but it is just Vesprit. Oh, it is Vesprit against Verderix as Conrad Mitten. Verderix finds a break as well. Is Vesprit going to be able to carry it? Wait, what even happened? I don't know what happened anymore. We're going to go to the MP link. Verderix breaks at the end in the last 100 combo, and it looks like Greg is going to take the point by about 2 million or so. That's about 2 million. That's the difference between Vesprit and Verderix pretty much. Oh man, you hate to see it. Looks like Washington had some trouble with the ending there. And Greg ended up winning the point. Thank you, tournament client. I didn't want to know how that map ended anyway. That was super cool. You know, it just makes it so fun to watch when you don't fucking know what happened. All right, we're going to go into overtime as the next pick for Washington. Our alt slider aim, I guess. I've just settled on that as the term I'm going to use to describe this map. No mud pick. Is a banger. Is a bop. Is a vibe. Can we put the fucking Miss Magius, like, nerfed one in Grand Finals? Is that valid, do you think? Or is that, like, too long? Maybe it'd be too long, huh? That song just absolutely goes, though. Oh my gosh. Gotta get into this one here. Just gonna get. This is where the match actually gets interesting, like, after that first pick. All right. We're also underway in Alert Today Afe versus TTV Malula OS. Currently, Alert Today Afe up 1-0 there. So we'll just kind of keep an eye on that one. But we are getting started on map number 3 here. Overtime. It's going to be Marcus, Saryi, Coach, and Kirochi taking on Conrad, Mitten, Verderix, Voodoo, and Kenpai. Maybe the only 4 that they have? I'm going to see here. And Verderix missing one of the first, like, 4 notes, I guess. I mean, it's so early that it doesn't really matter, but the accuracy drops down to 94%, so that's not ideal. Early lead, very, very slightly to Team Greg, and now a little bit more as well. Conrad Mitten breaking about 115 combo. We'll get into the meat of things here. Obviously, one of the longer maps in the pool, as we've said, about 3.5 minutes long, so plenty of time for things to happen, and there's a break from Kirochi, just as I say that. So 3 FCs for Greg, 2 FCs and a very near FC. I'm just going to probably go with 3 FCs because that's literally in the first, like, 5 combo, and it's hard to differentiate. You could just call it slider ends if you wanted. And the lead does go over to Team Washington. All the way out there on the Pacific Coast, the Pacific Northwest, Team Washington trying to make a name for themselves here as the low seed. Got a long way to go, however. But they will take a lead, and we'll see how long they can run with it and how large they can make it. Just about a third of the way through here. Only a couple 100,000 points separating the teams. Breaks, you know, with score v1 especially, breaks just become so important the longer you go into the map because the scores just vastly grow once you get past, you know, 5, 6, 700 combo. Everybody holding, though, for now. Just that difference of maybe 200 combo on Kirochi. Just kidding. There's a break from Kenpai. Says one of those 3 FCs gone from Team Washington. Meanwhile, 3 still alive on Marcus, Saryi, and Coach for Team Greg. Kirochi has regained some combo as well, up over 400 and about 50. There it is. So now it is all on Verderix and Voodoo to hold as long as they can. Conrad Mitten recovering some combo, but it's going to require another break, probably 2, in fact, from Team Washington in the second half of this map if they want to have a chance. Coach, Marcus, and Saryi, though, all looking very comfortable. Look at that accuracy, man. 100 from Marcus and Coach, it would appear. Maybe a couple more from Saryi, but still very high ac. And there we go into the little break here. You can see Voodoo clearly the most comfortable on Team Washington. Verderix down to 97. Kenpai and Conrad Mitten in the 98% range. And that lead 3 million points for Team Greg. And Voodoo with the break. That's about going to seal the deal here, really. I would think. Kenpai with the break as well. Coach does find a break for Team Greg, but you still have Saryi, you still have Marcus. Verderix and Conrad Mitten going to do what they can, but it would require a full reset from Greg. That score lead, almost 10 million points now. Going to be hard to do much about if you are Team Washington. Greg looking to run away with this in the last moments as our client completely fucking shits the bed. But Team Greg making it happen here. Sorry, Kirochi and Mark and Coach all break, but so does oh my god, wait a second. Is there time left? I don't think there's enough combo. There's a lot of combo on Verderix. It's over 1,000 on him and Conrad, but I just don't think there's enough time, unfortunately. It's 6 million points still. Those combos, I believe, went long enough for Greg, but this could get really close here at the end. Another break for Marcus. Wait just a darn second. There's 1,000 combo on Verderix and on Conrad Mitten. This is going to go over at the last moment if there's enough notes left in the map. And there are. It goes over. Team Washington is going to take the lead at the last moment, and they win the point. 2-1 goes the score. Team Washington sneaking a victory there. The absolute clutch moment from Verderix and Conrad Mitten holding those giant combos at the end of the map while Greg completely combo reset, and it was enough to take the victory on Nomad 4. What a map. Just when you think it's over. Just when you think it's over. So, into Greg's next pick we'll go. Washington up 2-1. Alerta de Afe up 2-0 over TTV Malula OS in the other match. We're going to go into another DT pick here. It's going to be DT2. We're going to have Step Ahead, the slightly streamy, really short DT map. Back-to-back DT picks for Team Greg to start things off on their side. Excuse me. So it is going to be Team Greg running back into the GT pool. Saika, Sawada, Minus, and Vesprit against Conrad, Verderix, Fudu still playing overtime, and Kenpai. We get reload that. There we go. And we'll see how many FCs we get this time around. Washington Speed, name of the game here. See how they do on this one. Honestly, this is a team that is better than you would expect them to be on this type of skill set. But I do think Greg probably does have the advantage. That being said, to get the early break there from Sawada right at the beginning, and like literally every break on this map counts. And our usual client lag. There's a break from Kenpai. That's a lot more damaging than the one from Sawada. Sawada's was in the first about 50 combo. So lead goes back over to Greg. We'll see if they show any signs of looking like they might relinquish it, but I doubt it. We really haven't even gotten to the hard part yet, per se. If there is really a hard part. And Verderix completely flubs that stream, and that's going to basically do it. You saw the SS on Vesprit and on Saika. FC still on Minus as well. And there's just not much left in this one now. So that's going to be Greg tying it up 2 apiece. Both teams winning their first 2 picks. A lot more drama in the wins from Team Washington, but you know, Greg's looking a lot more clean. That is a 3-way FC with an SS from Vesprit and a 1x100 from Minus. Or just early slider break from Sawada. Meanwhile, that miss from Verderix and the trouble that Kenpai, that slider break from Kenpai. Not doing what Washington would have liked for their chances on that pick, but whatever. I mean, Greg's just, I think, the superior DT team here. And so we are going to go on into the next pick from Washington. Their third is going to be Otoshimae. Once again, getting to see Otoshimae. And Washington, I'm sure, feels good about this pick, but you never know how these kind of skill cap type maps are going to end up faring. Easy to break a lot of places. You can end up underperforming on this map, I think, pretty easily. Especially compared to some of the other picks in the pool. And so, you know, We'll find out. So, you know, it's gonna be a fight here on this pick, I think. Again, you know, Washington going with a couple of these longer alti picks in the pool. Overtime, 3.5 minutes alt map. Otoshimae, just over 3 minutes alt map. So clearly feeling like this is the skill set that they want to investigate. Greg, though, you know, they barely got that last pick on Nomad 4 snatched away from them. They're going to want to turn that fortune around and avoid those last moment breaks and maybe take a break point here. But Washington's got to just be dialed in, you know, when you're in this sort of position, 0-1 with your chances of getting through groups kind of on the line. Gotta try to make every pick count. And so, we're going onward. Nomad 3, Otoshimae, Kirochi, Marcus, Coach, and Vesprit against Conrad, Mitten, Berterix, Fudu, and Kenpai. Let's see which team can take this point. 2-2. Match about as even as it can get. Especially how close that point was on Washington's previous pick. Most players, you know, relatively comfortable in this first section of the map. It's probably the easiest way to kind of, you know, just get into the swing of things on this rhythmically and everything. So it looks like we're going to see most of the players, all the players, maintaining full combos through the first couple hundred combo. And we're going to go ahead into... never mind. I was going to say we're going to go ahead into the first Ki with an 8-way full combo, but Kenpai does find an early break. So 4 FCs to 3 in favor of Team Greg. See what kind of lead they can establish in chorus number 1 here. Kenpai with another break. You wonder, you know, Washington saying that they were missing players. Kenpai maybe having to play the role of a little bit of Phil. I think skill level-wise, maybe just a little bit behind the other players here for them today. Acquitting himself as best he can, but obviously, you know, that score leaves something to be desired. Only at 2 million while everybody else at 5.5. And you can see that reflected in the score gap between the teams because everybody else holding the FCs. And we will go on into the second verse with lots of comfortable-looking players. Kirochi up over 99% accuracy, as is Fudu. Another break from Kenpai, really damaging Washington's chances at staying in this map. As long as Greg holds on to the combos. And we're going to go into this section here and see how everybody does. It's going to be a break from Vesprit. That's the first combo break from Team Greg. They need another for Washington to be able to make a comeback. It's not going to happen yet. And that's just not, unfortunately, going to do much for Washington because they don't have much of a combo lead. Maybe 150 for Kenpai over Vesprit, but that's it. All other 6 players holding FCs. Now there's the break from Marcus. Verterix and Kirochi trading combo breaks. So it is Conrad, Mitten, and Fudu holding on for Team Washington, just Coach for Team Greg. Kenpai with a supporting combo. There goes Fudu as well, unfortunately. Conrad, Mitten tied up with Coach. Kenpai with a bit of a combo lead over Vesprit, but Washington really needed Fudu to hold on there. And there go Kenpai, Fudu, and Verta. Coach breaking again, but it's just not going to matter, unfortunately, I don't think. Actually, just kidding. Wait a minute. I missed a break. I apologize. That was the remaining FC from Team Greg. It was on Coach. So Conrad Mitten now is in a position to carry this. As you can see, the lead does go over to Washington. Combo reset from Kirochi, Vesprit as well. Marcus with a 387 combo, but if Conrad Mitten brings this FC on home, he is going to hard carry his team. Look at those scores. Conrad so far ahead of the rest of his teammates, 12 million points above Fudu. And he is going to be looking to carry this pick here for Team Washington. What a performance from Conrad. Let's see if he can hold on into the last seconds and pull off the FC. He has established enough of a lead that they're going to win the map. He will not bring home the FC. Does break on that last pattern at the very end. But it does not matter. Conrad Mitten, 40 million points score, and that is going to be good for a Washington victory on the point. Carries his team pretty hard, doubling the next best score of Fudu, and a considerable amount above Kenpai and Verterix as well. Greg with that break in the middle. You can see 400 combo all that separated Coach from Conrad Mitten, but when you're on score v1, that's equivalent to 17 million points, and that was enough that Greg could not make any sort of comeback at the ending at all. Conrad just putting on his carry pants there. Radical Mittens himself doing it big. And it is 3-2 for Washington. Greg with the next pick. Every team winning their own picks so far. Oh, shoot. What will the pick from Greg be here? Meanwhile, a little quick update. We've got Alerta de Afe with the 2-1 lead over twitch.tv/MalulaOS. TTV MalulaOS. The Canadian squad able to emerge victorious on Click Clock Wood, the area hidden. See if that sort of niche type pick was enough for them. So what will the pick here from Greg be? I mean, is DT1 available? If DT1 is available, right, they just go all 3 DTs, or they go like Nomad 5 if they think, you know, kind of air quotes speed is like the way they want to go. Hey, look, Nomad 5. All right, I'm a genius. You guys, I'm a genius. Bow before my superior intellect. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, Nomad 5 for Greg. Makes sense. You know, they went with DT3, they went with DT2. Speed type maps, so Nomad 5, the logical next pick for them, kind of trying to stay within that same skill set. We'll see if this works out for them as well as the previous 2 picks did. This one... almost, like, it's actually faster than DT2 by like 20 BPM. So, you know, take that as you will. But it's a map that a lot of people are going to be FCing, and it looks like Washington have another player now. DNFD has arrived to the lineup. He will be replacing Kenpai, who, you know, did his best, put forth the scores that he could. And, you know, they're at a 3-2 lead, so clearly it was okay for them. Obviously, you know, not quite carrying to the level of Conrad, you know, Vertifudu, but you gotta have 4 to play, and he was there and did his part, so no shame there for bottom scoring for maps that he maybe wasn't expecting to be in for. GLHFs are going to come out, though. It's going to be Psycho minus Sawada Vesprit here against Conrad, Vertifudu, and DNFD, as mentioned. Nomad 5, map number 6. If Washington can win this, they'll have a match point on their own pick. If not, they'll each have 1 pick remaining no matter what. And so it is all going to come down to that if that does end up being the case. We'll see how many FCs we end up getting on this pick. Again, you know, you usually anticipate a few. Early break there from Psycho, it looks like. I will warn, you know, there are a lot of potential Bancho misses on this pick, a lot of Buzz Sliders and little Kick Sliders. So you always got to take those misses with a little grain of salt, and before, you know, making sure that they don't get their combo magically reinstated. But it is a break from DNFD, so combo advantage by about 70 in favor of Team Greg here. SS still intact on minus and Vesprit, as well as Fudu. But it's all about keeping the combo alive. Accuracy not always the win con here, you know, even in score v1, it's much more about combo than accuracy. And onward we go. Another break from DNFD, so struggling, unfortunately, much the way that Kenpai was previously. Going to require another break here from Greg, if not a couple more breaks for Washington to have any sort of chance, and they just don't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. With this one being so short, it is not really a carryable map, especially if the other team doesn't break ever. DNFD continuing to have trouble. It's Washington kind of having 4th player syndrome, unfortunately. The other 3 looking perfectly comfortable, but DNFD, 98% accuracy, 3 different combo resets. And that's the risk you run on some of these rosters. Not having a good option for your 4th player can spell your demise. As we see 7 FCs, or 6 FCs, excuse me. still intact, but a much better combo for Psycho as well as much better accuracy than DNFD, and that's going to give Greg a pretty simple win. I mean, it's 6-7 million points just for Psycho over DNFD, and then after that, accuracy lead for Greg as well. Looks like we're going to get 2 SSs on this one, unless there's a last-second miss or accuracy drop. Vesprit and Fudu do end up both carrying the SS for their teams. Fudu with the superior spin will end up with a higher score, but unfortunately, Psycho with the 12 million score versus DNFD with the 4 million score means that Greg do take the point with the 3-way full combo and better backing score. Welcome to Hippo Cup 4 group stages, ladies and gentlemen, where if you miss once, you just lose. But it is 3-3, and that does mean that each team will now have 1 pick remaining. And Washington just picking all the alt. Saw this happen that previous match, and we're gonna see it again here. Fuyu no Hanashi, hidden number 3, the hidden alt pick. Washington, you know, barely winning on Nomad 4, winning on Nomad 3 thanks to the Conrad Mitten carry, and they're gonna stick in that alt skill set here with their last pick. So they're gonna go technically really 4 alt maps, because Fremont 3 is like the aim portion where it's actually difficult is also kind of alt aim. So it's really just let's pick all of the alt in this pool and hope that it carries us through. And they've given themselves the opportunity to at least get a match point on Greg's last pick. So, you know, it's an opportunity, it's a chance. Meanwhile, Alert to the Afe and TTV Malula OS are tied at 2 apiece. So 2 good matches going on at the same time. They are currently in match number 5, map number 5 over there. They're playing Ika Naide. So depending, you know, on how these last couple maps go over here, we might get to switch to that for a map or 2, but both these matches really do carry similar weight in their groups. This one, you know, obviously just the kind of continuity with the College Air Boss versus Draft Dodgers match just before it, leading into this one, and you know, the importance of this match with regards to the match that we previously had on stream. So obviously, as I've been doing, you know, going to keep up with the other match and keep you guys informed as to the goings on there. We also do have $19 Fortnite card versus Bocce Lucas IADX, a meaningless match. No potential results can be affected in first, you know, as far as who gets out of the group in that one. An RNB Club versus Rugia, which I actually haven't looked at at all. I don't know if anybody has the MP for that one maybe, but I think that particular match is kind of a weird spot in that group, because Rugia are 0-1, RNB Club is 1-1, so you know, it's kind of just a situation here where we have 3 matches all at the same time that all have kind of similar effects on their group. You know, depending on the outcome, they can make the last match of the group very, very important, or possibly not matter at all. So, you know, just the nature of group stage. Unfortunately, everybody wanting to play at the same time means that we have to make some sacrifices since we only have the one stream. So we're kind of keeping up with those matches as best we can. But here we are at 3-3, the next pick from Washington. Again, you know, a lot of pressure here, and we do have RME fan coming in for Washington. The Conrad Verta Fudu RME fan. This is the USC squad getting to play 4 instead of 3 members at a time. Taking on Saika, Saryi, Kirochi, and Coach. These maps very much prone to just a couple of iffy misses here and there. So we'll hope that nobody breaks too poorly. I think RME fan, you know, typically a pretty capable player on a lot of different things. You see him on some reading type maps in tournaments as well. So, you know, the hidden here. We'll see how his alt skill feels today. Early accuracy advantage in favor of Greg, but it is 8 full combo gaming still going on here. Both teams with the 4 ways. And that is a break from Coach. So we'll be Washington taking the lead, and that's a decent amount of combo. I mean, that was already 400 combo in. So that is a not unimportant amount of score that will drop down from Team Greg. Washington with an entire second verse here that they'll be able to kind of play with, because there's not a lot of places you're likely to break in this section of the map. So they'll be able to establish a bit of a lead. And obviously, you have to stay so careful on maps like this. RME fan actually looks like broken about the first 10 combo, but maybe missed a lot of slider ends. Hard to tell. 94 accuracy, not doing the greatest. But Coach trying to recreate some combo here, get it back together. The accuracy lead looks to be in favor of Greg pretty heavily. And now we're going to go into the solo. Oh, it's a break from Kirochi. That's a bad place to break as well. 750 combo. That's a lot of score that Kirochi is going to lose, and it's still a 4-way FC from Team Washington. Can they make it through this section into the Wiggles? No, they cannot. Verterix and RME fan both break. Oh, and Fudu breaks on the Wiggle stream. That might have just doomed them. Saika and Sari both hold on to the FCs. And Coach has a big combo as well. I don't think there's any chance of Conrad Mitten heroics here now. If Sari and Saika hold on, especially with that Coach backing combo, this lead's going to go back over to Greg, and they're going to get a match point on their own selection. Oh, man, that was tragic for Washington. And they can see... Oh, man, that is painful. Conrad, I'm sorry, buddy. You can't do it twice in a row. Not with Saika and Sari putting up FCs and Coach with a 640 combo. Saika does find a break. It would require Sari and Coach breaking right now. And I still don't think there's enough time. I think this is just Greg taking the point, and there goes Conrad. Sari does end up breaking, but it's just not going to matter. That is Greg winning the point. Finally, Washington's favor on these alt maps runs out. And Greg will take a 4-3 lead into the last pick of the match, where Washington will have to get a break point to try and force a tiebreaker, or they will be eliminated. And at the same time, RNB Club 5-0 over Rugia. Oh boy. Oh boy. Gonna be some interesting things going on in that group. Gonna be some interesting things going on in that group. I'm gonna, in fact, just update that right now because I want to see what that does down there to Group L. We're gonna go over to group results here. Copy this. L5 RNB Club 5-0 over Rugia. So that means Rugia is now 0-2, which means RNB Club is now done. They're 2-1. Morix System is also done and is also 2-1. Which means there is a high likelihood we end up with a 3-way tiebreaker scenario in that group, assuming 8 Angry Men end up defeating Rugia later on tonight. So we're gonna update this here. 5-0 RNB Club. Man, Rugia just underperforming. I really expected better things out of them. But, so that group now has the standings. Morix System 2-1. They were victorious over RNB Club and over Rugia. RNB Club 2-1 with victories over Rugia and 8 Angry Men. 8 Angry Men currently 1-1 with Rugia left to go. Now, if 8 Angry Men wins that, they will advance no matter what because their one loss will have been in a tiebreaker, which means they'll have more points than their opposition. And it does look as though if that happens, I believe RNB Club would actually go through as the next team based on points, because they would have 13 total points versus the 12 of Morix System V2.0. That being said, Morix System V2.0 won the head-to-head. So we're going to have to wait and see on that one. I'm going to take a look at that one later on because that might be an interesting thing to see. However, that will come later tonight. That's going to be the last match of the round. They rescheduled to 1 UTC Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Sunday evening, if you play by those rules. And so we're going to be waiting a few hours to find out what happens over there. Over here, our last selection of this match is going to be Nomad number 2 or Greg. 4-3 the lead. They win this point. They're 3-0 through the group, number 1 seed. If they lose this, we go to a tiebreaker. Things get very, very questionable. If we go to a tiebreaker, you never know. This tiebreaker feels like anyone can win it. Very, very straightforward, very simple map. But if Greg win this, they go through number 1. I believe Draft Dodgers go through as number 2. Collide, our boss, and Washington would play a dead rubber match to determine who goes in 3rd and 4th in this group. GLHF's coming out. So we're gonna get going. Saika, Kirochi, minus... What the heck map is that? That's not even a map in this pool. Kenpai's on a map that isn't even in this pool. What? That map's not even in this pool. I'm so confused. All right, anyway. We're gonna get into it. Big deep breath here for Kenpai. He's been struggling a little bit in this match. Really needs to get it together on this pick if Washington wants to have a chance, because you've got to assume that Greg is going to 3-way, if not 4-way FC this. A lot of act drops early on in this one, more than we're used to seeing in the intro. Verdict's down 95%, Kirochi down 97%, as well as Kenpai. Coach with the early break. See if everybody gets through this next stream. And they do, so up to just shy of the 300 combo mark. You've got Fudu with the SS, the 4-way full combo for Team Washington. Coach with the break. Double SS from Saika and minus, but as of now, 900k lead for Washington thanks to that break from Coach. However, we're yet to get to the really difficult part of this map compared to the rest, which is, of course, the doubles that we always talk about. That somebody somewhere is probably going to break on. And in we go. Oh, it's a slider break from Conrad Mitten. Oh, it's a combo break and another break. Fudu breaks as well. That may have just done it. You can't afford to miss twice there if you're Team Washington. The lead over to Team Greg, who still have 3 FCs intact. Coach breaks once again. His score is more or less irrelevant. It's all in the other 3 to carry on through these doubles and kick sliders. Fudu and Verderix both break. That's it. That's going to just do it. Team Greg are going to win the match. Team Greg are going to be 3-0. They're going to move onward. They're going to be the #1 seed out of this group. And Washington, unfortunately, drops to 0-2, and they will be mathematically eliminated from contention to advance onward. It's a tragic state of affairs, but unfortunately, that is how the cookie crumbles. Whoa, whoa, okay, all right. I just fucked my mic apparently somehow. All right. Well done to Greg. They will go on. 3-0 finish in the group. Washington did provide their sternest test, but it was still not enough. Washington is eliminated, unfortunately.